Welcome back to Rediscover Podcast, where we talk to people who have rediscovered their calling in life through the things that, just their lives that they've gone through. And today we're here with...
My name is Melissa Goad.
My name is Bob Leone.
Okay, so how do you two know each other?
Through church. We went to the same church.
Okay.
I'll explain a little bit more.
You'll do it like a boomer and you'll do it right. Okay.
My father-in-law is a pastor at Calvary Chapel in Concord. And Bob started going to that church in 2017. And my husband and I moved up to the area in 2018 to be closer to family. We have children.
Okay.
So we met in church. And then he became like a second dad to me. So he's my California dad, but
Okay.
we're also business partners. We run Inspireworks Productions.
Wow. Okay. So how did you guys get into that? So the whole idea behind Rediscover is that from the foundations of the world, God had a plan. And then we're born at such a time as this to be a part of that plan. But we often go through life and then have to rediscover what God had planned all of a sudden, right? So how does that play into your lives? I guess he wants to be first.
Sure, you can take it first. And I definitely have mine.
It's going to be short
I have
anyway.
my story. You have your story.
He's like, it did. And then...
Anyway, I was in a whole completely different line than this. I was an engineer, and then I retired. And then my daughter thought I was going to not do nothing and wither away and die or something.
Okay.
So she says, why don't you write a book? And I said, well, I've never written a book before. I did technical manuals, I did articles and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I wrote a chapter, send it to her. She said, this is good, keep going. And then I finished the book through a whole bunch of stuff. I wanted to get it published finally after a lot of denials.
Sure.
And then I got it published. Then they gave me a bunch of free copies, so I gave them away in church. I gave one to her. Little did I know.
Yeah, let's keep it close.
Little did I know that she was in the movie business.
Okay.
And so she said, why don't we make this into a movie? You know, and I said, I guess. So about 6 months later, she says, seriously, let's make this into a movie. So we formed an LLC and made it into a movie.
Okay.
And that's the process too.
Wow. Okay.
Obviously.
Big process.
So yeah, my whole life, since I was 5, I knew I wanted to be an actor. And so I've been acting professionally since the age of 12. And I went to school for acting and everything. Starred in a ton of indie films, short films, web series, all these things. Then I kind of gave it up for a little while and had a family and thought I was going to be done, even though that passion was like still definitely in my heart. And once we moved up to the Bay Area and, I met Bob, that's when, we did our first feature, They Don't Cast Shadows. And that's when I was kind of forced into the role of directing.
Okay.
And not only that, but I felt like the Lord was telling me faith films, like he would bless my career if I did faith films.
Right.
And so I took on the role of director. I'd only been on sets as an actor. I actually produced a film back in 2007 as well. Starred in that and produced it, but I had never directed. But I've watched a lot of directors. I've been on set many times. And so it was kind of a big feat for me to take on. And I was a little nervous about it. And right the night before we left to go shoot our first feature, I started Googling, what does a director do? Because I was like, am I even doing this right? Like, am I going to fail this whole movie? And everything that I saw, like all these like mainstream directors do, I was already doing. And I was like, oh, that was such a relief.
I already am one.
Yeah, exactly. So it was great. And that was kind of my like switch.
And she's won 8 awards for Best Director so far.
I was going to
And
ask,
she
like,
had never
what
did that
came of that
before.
film then?
What was the question?
The first film that you guys did, like what came of that? Like, so they won awards?
Yes, it won. I think it was 35 awards and it was up for like 55 awards.
Wow.
And of those 35, 5 of those were Best Director.
And it won here for...
Yeah, it won Audience Choice Award here in 2022. And we got distribution. It's now on Amazon. It's on Tubi. It's on other platforms. It's out there right now. It's like the Christian version of the Twilight Saga. So instead of vampires and werewolves, it's angels and demons.
Oh, wow.
But it's something that Bob, he wrote a trilogy of it. So we wanted to produce book 2 and 3. We haven't done that yet. We kind of switched gears and are kind of going for like a Christmas theme this
Okay,
time
yeah.
around. But
Which
yeah.
is called December.
December to Remember. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if they want to watch that other one, they can find it anywhere, basically. At this
Yeah,
point.
it's called They Don't Cast Shadows.
They don't.
And
Catch
I
that.
directed it. Melissa Goad and Bob Leone wrote it. Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, you're such an odd couple to get together, but it's cool.
It works.
But
Yeah.
it works. Yeah, it's amazing. So, December to Remember. Tell us a little bit about that. It's here. It played yesterday here, right?
It did. Do you want to talk about it or?
No, you talk about it.
Okay.
It's more in your heart. I wrote the book though, but
We've changed it around a lot since he wrote the book, but and we've actually changed the feature story different from the short concept that we showed yesterday. So it's about a young singer-songwriter who leaves her life in Tennessee to go rediscover herself in Montana. While she's there, she falls in love with this cowboy, this handsome cowboy, and she starts, playing her music at bars, and she's trying to use her music to heal herself because she had a really bad breakup back home in Tennessee for this guy she went to college with, but has known since she was little. They had this really horrible breakup. She thought she was going to marry him. So she's kind of healing from that. She meets this new guy unintentionally. She wasn't ready to get back in a relationship. But then at Christmas, her mother falls and she needs to fly home, be with her family. Her mother also has cancer. She thinks it's okay. Then when she gets home, her father tells her and her sisters that it's not, that her mother doesn't have much time left. And to add to that story for our short concept, we have a little sister who's a selective mute, which is another branch which we removed from the feature. So when she was 4, she's 10 now, the little sister, her grandmother was watching her. Grandma had a heart attack, never recovered from it, died there in front of her. And so she was left alone with her grandma for about 6 hours until mom came to get her. And so she was traumatized from that situation. So because of that, she's selective mute.
So why remove that part of the story?
Because there's too many branches. The story follows
That could be its
Hannah,
own
the
movie.
main. Yeah, it really could. Yeah.
in the book it has that. In the book, it has the little girl. It has more about the grandma and all that stuff. Well, when they're doing the screenplay, they wanted it more.
Yeah, you got to
singular.
streamline.
Right.
Yeah. So it follows the main character of Hannah, who's a singer-songwriter who has, love interest. She has a deep conversation with her mom. She's just trying to figure things out. So we took her storyline and went with that. But we could definitely write a storyline about the daughter for a second movie.
Right.
Totally different story, I guess. But
So what are your plans with that? How do you go from, so you're acting and then you created this feature film,
yeah.
and I know from talking to you a little bit about December to Remember that, you have high hopes, you want, was the actress that you wanted in?
Jennifer Garner. I would
Yes.
love for her to play our mother. She is perfect.
So how would you, for people that don't even know how to do any of this and they're aspiring to this, how would you even get to her? How would you do that?
You reach out to agents, managers. Actually, one of our producers, Angelo Panetta, he has this knack of being able to reach out to talent as well. So, what you do, even with other things, sometimes you can send a cold email and people will answer. You just sometimes just say a small blurb in the email, and if it's a hook and they take it, then they'll want more information. So that's happened to us on They Don't Cast Shadows. We were able to talk to somebody higher up at Affirm Productions, Sony's Faith side, with just a cold email, and he read our screenplay, and so I think just putting it out there, and again our co-producer has some contacts, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It also takes a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have any money to do They Don't Cast Shadows, and we just prayed about it. And in fact, we had $80,000 at first, and we said we're just going to go ahead and start. And then all of a sudden, all the money came, and then we got to finish the whole thing. So
Yeah,
That's unusual. That doesn't always.
well, I was about to say,
happen.
there's a lot of screenwriters or filmmakers and stuff where they're like, yeah, but I only have $500.
Yeah.
And part of the issue is that they need to, everybody's where they're at.
Yeah.
So make the $500 short.
Right.
Right. Do that. And then,
Yeah.
start
Work your way
getting
up.
connected. Come to
Yeah.
places like International Christian Film Festival where
Right.
we're at. Make connections, do more, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really the way it works. So, real quick question: all your books and your stuff. How do people find that?
Okay. All my books are on Well, they're through Ingram, so Ingram puts the books out to all the platforms. So
Okay.
Amazon's probably the best way to get a hold of it.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, but
Okay.
Amazon, if you put my name in, Bob Leone, Leone, all my books will come up.
Okay.
And I have 6 books. Well, I have 5 books right now. The next one comes out in July.
Okay. How fast do you think that you're going to be able to make December to Remember?
It honestly depends on funding. If we can get the funding, we can, start
Right away.
focusing on, talent and pre-production and all that stuff. So it really just depends on funding and then talent's timelines.
Okay.
So if we get the funding immediately and a talent's available immediately, we'll make it work.
We'll see it here next year.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
That's kind of what happened with They Don't Cast Shadows. Literally, we got the funding and it just kept coming in as we kept going. We just believed, right? And the Lord kept providing. And then even the timeline to get the post-production finished happened so quickly. Our sound designer was like, there's no way you're going to get this done in time. Right. No way. And I'm like, nope. I want to submit it to ICFF. That was my goal for that film.
Has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
And we had a deadline, and we needed to have it done by, I think, February 1st or something that year, and to play in May or whatever. And he's like, it's not. And this was like October that we started post-production, and we had it almost finished by December, which is fast for post, especially for everything that we needed in that film. And then we were just making tweaks in January, but he was like blown away. He's like, I've never seen a post-production go that fast with all the stuff that was needed, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm going to have you guys come up to like my studio up in Michigan so we can actually sit down and talk longer because I like to do more long form kind of stuff so we can get really deep into things. But gosh, it's great to meet you guys. I hope that we can work together because I did get the information and I do want to be a part of that December to Remember. So I hope that we can keep working together.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you.